After creating hours and hours of videos and after everything I have learned, here is a super condensed version of the 4 most important tips, with the last one being the most critical of them all. This will help you get better if you started playing for the king or if you've poured hundreds of hours into it. Number 1, buy weapons. One of the most common mistakes I see are people prioritizing armor in lieu of weapons. You mainly want to spend your gold on weapons first, and then herbs and pipes. After that, everything else is a luxury. If you want to know why weapons are so important, Mike, Sheldon, and I recorded over 6 hours of video breaking down over 200 weapons. We started talking about all the abilities, then what are the best starting weapons, and then did all 4 weapon classes. Also, I only spent 17 minutes going over armor. Just think about that for a moment. 6 hours on weapons, 17 minutes on armor. Let that sink in. Number 2, be defensive. In order to be successful at FTK, you must think defensively first. I'm kidding. Stop using taunt. Stop holding crappy single-handed weapons for steadfast. Stop trying to tank. Stop party healing in battle. Stop pussyfooting around. You will do some of these things on rare occasions, of course, but don't make that a habit. Kill things fast. If you don't, you'll waste a lot of important resources like Godsbeards, Sanctums, or even worse, lives in the process. If you can't kill them fast, then manipulate the timeline with attack speed down, reset, and rush. With that said, number 3, speed is meta. I'm working on a video that will go over every single hero in the game, and you'll see a theme throughout. In fact, the rule of 90 videos should be slightly adjusted. I no longer value evasion as S tier and speed as A tier. Those two should be swapped. What a lot of people don't realize with speed is that it is, in essence, a form of timeline manipulation. Here's a quick snip of probably the most important part to my next tips video that shows this. Oh, was that too fast for you? And don't you dare go back and pause that part of the video. You'll end up spoiling everything. I can see if you guys do this by checking the analytics, so don't go back and pause it. Here's the quick and dirty. I typically now let the game randomize my team just to keep the game interesting. What I ran into was one of the slowest teams I have ever used: Monk, Woodcutter, and Busker, which are 3 of the 5 slowest heroes in the game. I couldn't figure out why I was getting my ass kicked so early in the game, when in fact, I died 3 times in the game before I ever finished the Glittering Mines. That's right, I died 3 times on Masters. Don't worry, I'm really good at this game. I still won. It all had to do with the fact that almost every fight, all 3 enemies got to attack before any of my heroes got to. You take so much more damage with a slow team, and you'll almost never realize it. To be honest, I feel that's why so many people struggle from apprentice to journeyman rather than journeyman to masters. It's because you get 5 more speed for each hero on apprentice, and the slow heroes don't become as much of an issue at that level. If you are struggling with the switch to journeyman, you may want to become faster. Number 4, quit fighting. Want to know a little trick to this game? I'll let you in on a little secret. After I leave the Glittering Mines, I never fight anything in the overworld unless I'm absolutely forced to. That's right, I fight no enemies from Glittering Mines to Vexor's Tower, ever. It's a waste of resources and I gain no value from it. I gain all my gold from mini dungeons and sea caves and gain more than enough XP from those 2 things, along with uncovering all the encounters, fighting side quests, and main quests. Let's think about this for a moment. Most fights, you'll almost always take some form of damage. You need to either use a Godsbeard or go to the town to rest. So first off, using herbs is not a good thing. And number 2, wasting time to go to town is bad. So stop doing it. And last, number 5, pathing. This is by far and away the most important tip you will ever receive in this game. The game is won or lost at this point, and most people never even realize it. The word I hear all the time is that the game outscales you. Yes, that can be true, but it's because you acted too slow after the Glittering Mines. The problem is, I can't tell you how to path the game properly, but I can tell you how to determine if you failed or not. So quickly, why can't I tell you how to path? Because the variance in locations of towns, ports, and biomes from game to game is so wildly different that there's no one correct way to do this. If you want an example, you'll want to watch at the end of part 2 of the full game walkthrough and the entirety of part 3. But here are the goals I set for myself when I sit down and play every single game. Remember, you have 15 total rounds to complete these goals after the Glittering Mines before the town refreshes occur. Number 1, unlock 4 side quests out of the 5 total in each town. Number 2, find and fight 2 mini dungeons out of the 3 possible in the biomes. I want to make this abundantly clear. There is a big difference between unlocking side quests and fighting the mini dungeons. If you go to the town and accept a side quest prior to the 15 round refresh, the camp will be at level 4 and stay that way even after the 15 rounds is up. But if you find a mini dungeon prior to the refresh, it will be level 3 dungeon, but if you do not venture and complete it, once the refresh occurs, it will become a level 5 dungeon, as you'll see in the video. If you really want to master this game, you should be able to unlock all 5 side quests and 3 mini dungeons over half the time you play this game, but it's difficult to do. So if you upgrade weapons, avoid being defensive, pick fast heroes, stop fighting random enemies after the Glittering Mines, and path like a boss, you'll win more games than you'll ever imagine, no matter what level you play on. Good luck.